Hello, Ernie.
Hello.
Hi, Ernie.
Last time we learned, we had divided the Aver Hayarden east of the Jordan to the 2.5 Shvatim of Reuven, Gad, and Chatzi Shevet Hamnasheh. And we also saw, Yoshua gave Hebron to Kalev, and we discussed Kalev as the remnant of the Meraglim. And after Hebron, the first inheritance allocated of the land was given to the leaders of Yehuda to apportion among the rest of the tribe. And that's why the pasuk starts by saying, "Vahi agoral batebni udal mishpochotam el gvul Edom midbar tzin negba mikza teman." Let's just look at the map that I sent. Look at the first map, which shows all of the tribes. I'm looking at the one where you see Dan on the top, and then you know in Lebanon, and then you see Asher and Naphtali, right? Is everybody's seeing their maps on their phone, right?
Yep.
And then as you go,
Some people don't.
so we can,
I am here.
doesn't make a difference. We can see the east of Jordan. The east of to the right of the Dead Sea is Ruvain. Above Ruvain was Gad. Remember, because Sichon, Ruvain was given the area of Sichon, which was between all the way up to the Yabok River. Everything from the above the Yabok stream was the area of Og Melech HaBashan, and that was given to Gad and to half of Manasseh. Now, if we look over into Eretz Canaan, where we crossed over, you can see that basically Yehuda occupied the southern part of Eretz Israel, between the Dead Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, and down towards the Negev. And you can see that Yerushalayim was divided. There was a Ritzua. Jerusalem was basically in both Judah's and Binyamin's Chelek.
I have a feeling that
You can see where Jerusalem is. And above Binyamin, you have Ephraim. Above Ephraim, you have Menashe. Menashe and Ephraim, who were brothers, were next to each other. And then you have Yisachar, Zvulun. That relationship, Zvulun was closer to the ocean because he was a businessman and did a lot of trading by ship. Asher and Naphtali were even more to the north, and then Dan was absolutely high in the north. That's an overview. If you go to the next map, the next map is the division given to Shevet Yehuda, which and as we read through these places, look on the map, right? Because to the east is the Dead Sea, to the west is the Mediterranean Sea. The Kadesh Barnea is the most southernmost point, and then you have this Nahar, what's called the Ravine of Egypt. We'll see what that's this most southernmost part. Now, Shevet Shimon sort of lived with the tribe of Yehuda. Shimon was sort of given a little bit of a chelek, but he was basically part of the chelek of Yehuda. And these cities, including Beersheba, was in Shimon's territory. Of course, Hebron is right in the middle of, was the capital of Judea. Hebron is right to the west of the Dead Sea. Of course, Beit Lechem, where David HaMelech was born, and eventually David HaMelech ruled in Hebron for 7 years before he came to Jerusalem. So let's read some of the psukim. There's a little inlet that sticks out from the Dead Sea. That's the area opposite that begins the Chelek of Yehuda. V'yatsa el minegev lemala akravim v'advar tzina. It went south to Malei Akravim, as you can see on the map, towards Tzin. The most southernest part was Kadesh Barnea, passing Chetzron up to Adar. Right? The Avar Atzmon of Yatsa Nachal Mitzrayim. It doesn't mean Nachal that goes all the way to Egypt. It's this ravine of Egypt that they think is called Wadi El Arish. You can go visit Wadi El Arish. It's towards Gaza in the Negev area. That was the border, southern border. The tribe of Judah didn't go south of that. Then the Gvul Kedma, that's the western Gvul, is Yam HaMelach, the Mediterranean Sea, Yitzei Yardei. Ugvul Ifat Safonim L'Shon Hayam Yitzei Yardei. V'ala Gvul Beit Chagla, the border goes up towards Chagla. V'avar mitzvon lebeit harava. V'ala Gvul Even Boan ben Ruvain. This is now we're going from west to east back towards the Yam HaMelach. V'ala Gvul Dvira me'emek achor v'tzafona ponel Gilgal. Asher nochach l'malei adumim. We know Malei Adumim. Malei Adumim is near Jerusalem. Asher minegev l'nachal v'avar gvul amei ein shemesh v'yutot stevelin rogel. V'ala gvul gei ben Ninon el ketef ha'Yevusi minegev. He Yerushalayim, because the Yevusi lived in Yerushalayim. V'ala gvul el Rosh Hahar asher al pnei gei Yinom Yama asher b'tzei emek Refaim tzafon. You notice there's an area in Yerushalayim called Emek Refaim. So this is the area around Yerushalayim. And this is a hilly area, because of course Jerusalem is on a hill. Vatara gvul merosh hahar el mayan mei neftoach v'yatsa l'rei har Efron. Vatara gvul ba'ala hi Kiryat Ye'arim. Again, describing cities going up on the most northern border towards the Yam HaMelach. And you can see in the map some of the names of those cities. V'nasava gvul mi ba'ala Yamal har Seir. V'avar ketef har Yarim etzafona hi Ksalon. V'yarad Beit Shemesh v'avar Timna. All the way up to Beit Shemesh, where eventually we're going to see the Aron is going to be sent and is going to be there for a period of time.
All of this is Yehuda, right?
All of this is the tribe of Yehuda. V'yatzad gvul ketef Ekron tzafon v'atar gvul Corona v'avar harabala v'yatzay Yavneel v'yuto sot.
Which map are you,
Yes?
sorry, which map are you on? The second one or the first one?
The second map. Second map. See, we've talked about, look at the map. We've talked about Yavneel. Look at the top of the second map. We just mentioned, see, the scholars don't know all of the cities that Yoshua is mentioning. But on the map, you're seeing the cities that we recognize that are mentioned. So for example, they know where Yavneel is. You see Kiryat Ye'arim, of course, Beit Shemesh, Ein Shemesh, Beit Chogla. We mentioned these cities as we're coming across the northern border of Yehuda. Now, Pasuk Yud Gimel. Now, before we go to Pasuk Yud Gimel, so first of all, I want to read you what Steinsaltz said. Several topographical items in the Chumash or in the Tanakh are based on the names of limbs of the body, such as the mouth of the earth, the shoulder of the Sea of Galilee, and the head of a mountain. So the word Lashon indicates that the Dead Sea extends into the land in the form of a tongue. In fact, the verse refers to both a southern Lashon and a northern Lashon. Some maintain that the southern Lashon is the peninsula that encroaches upon the Dead Sea from the east. If you look at the picture of the Dead Sea, you'll see a peninsula group on the southern part of the Dead Sea going into it. And some people mark that border as part of Judah's border. In English, it's called the Lizan Peninsula, based on the Arabic name for tongue, right? Think about the word Lashon and Lizan, very similar. This name dates back to the 19th century. Now, we also mentioned in one of the psukim Timnah. Timnah is mentioned in a story involving Yehuda and Tamar. And he had ties to the family of Adulam. Susie and I had lunch in Yom Ha'atzmaut in the fields of Adulam. They know exactly where that is. All of these were placed in inheritance in the tribe of Judah. Timnah will be mentioned again in the story of Shimshon. It's not far from the border with Dan. Now, the control of the tribe of Judah was all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, but the strength of their control varied, particularly depending on their relationships with the Philistines, who lived in those cities right on the coast of the Mediterranean. It can be inferred from the continuation of the narrative that only part of the large territory of Yehuda was inhabited by the tribe, mainly the western portion. And in addition, several cities in the southern portion of Yehuda would later be allocated to a different tribe. We're going to see when that happens. Now, back to Pasuk Yud Gimel. Ulakalev ben Yefuneh, Natan Chelek betoch b'nei Yehuda, El Pi Hashem liYoshua Kiryat Abba, Avi Ha'anak Ki Chevron. We discussed that because Kalev was an outstanding person of the Meraglim, he was given title to Chevron, and the Kiryat Arba is called Kiryat Arba because there were 4 giants. Arba was the father of the 3 giants, which we're going to mention, Sheshai, Achiman, and Talmai, who were the offspring of Arba. Of course, we had a midrashic explanation that Kiryat Arba referred to the 4 pairs of our avos that are buried there, Adam and Chava, and Avram and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, and Yaakov and Leah. Vayorish misham Kalev et shlosha bnei Anak et Sheshai vet Achimai vet Talmai l'nei Anak. Vayal misham el Yoshvei Dvir. Dvir was another populated city near Hebron. V'shem Dvir lefanim Kiryat Sefer. It was called Kiryat Sefer. Rashi says, Rabbeinu Amru, this refers to Elo halachot shenishtakhu bnei avlo shel Moshe shehechzir Otniel ben Knaz b'pilpulo. We're going to see very soon what the story with Otniel ben Knaz was, but it's called Kiryat Sefer. One of the reasons is because he returned through Pilpul a lot of the halachas that were forgotten after Moshe Rabbeinu died. Rashi also points out to us that Kalev only inherited Hebron after the death of Yoshua. Lachar misas Yoshua. Ki adai b'mei Yoshua lo nilka de Hebron. Kamo shenemar b'sefer Shoftim. We're going to see that one of the first businesses of Sefer Shoftim in Perek Aleph, Sefer Shoftim is going to tell us, you know what? A lot of places remained unconquered after Yoshua died. So the beginning part of Shoftim is going to describe how some Shvatim went and continued conquering. Some of this conquering is going to be of Hebron, which occurs after Yoshua's death. So the Navi wants to be complete here. So even though the giving of Hebron didn't occur now when Yoshua is alive, it wants to give us the whole Chalukah of the Shevet of Yehuda. Kalev is part of Shevet Yehuda. So it wants to tell us the part that Kalev was invested with. Vayomer Kalev. Asher Yaket Kiryat Sefer Ul Kada. He gives a challenge. Whoever one of my warriors is able to conquer Kiryat Sefer and conquer it, V'natati lo et achsa biti li isha. I will give my daughter Achsa to him as a wife. Vayilkada Atniel ben Knaz achi Kalev. So Atniel ben Knaz conquers. Atniel is the brother of Kalev. So he's given his niece as a wife. You're allowed to marry your niece. Vayiten lo et achsa bito li isha. The first shofet in Sefer Shoftim that we're going to deal with is Atniel ben Knaz. So we see a little bit of foreshadowing going on in Sefer Yoshua, who talks to us about the first shofet, Atniel. We're going to go more into Atniel.
Are they half brothers or just step brothers?
So we're going to discuss there's different chazals regarding that, which we learned last week. Or I'll read the Medrash again. In Divrei Ayamin, it says V'Kalev ben Chetzro. So the Gemara asked, and Tmur ben Knazu. What are you calling him ben Chetzro? He's ben Knaz. D'chsiv v'ayil kedat niel ben Knaz achi Kalev. Amarava chorgo de Knaz hava. He was it was the same mother, Kalev and Yoshua, the same mother, but different fathers. Dekanami d'chsiv haknizi. The lo never ben Knaz. Shmami no.
You're
So-
saying that Kalev and
Kalev-
Osniel?
Kalev and Osniel ben Knaz were brothers, but they were only half brothers.
I know, but who was their mother is the question now you're saying?
We don't know.
Kalev was married to Miriam, right?
Say again?
Who was Kalev's wife? Miriam, right?
Kalev was
No,
married to Miriam.
Yeah,
But
Kalev, Moshe's brother-in-law.
We learned that last week. Remember, we went through Hur and Bezalel ben Hur,
Right.
and then that
oh, right.
the great grandson of Kalev, because Kalev had married Miriam.
Okay, I don't remember.
No, but remember,
Are you saying that Kalev's mother gave birth to Otniel when they were in Eretz Yisrael because nobody else survived to come from the Midbar into from Mitzrayim?
no, Kalev is 85 years old. He was 45 in the desert 38 years before when they were sent by. We're talking about in Egypt sometime when they were born. Bernie.
No, because you said that whole generation died except for Yoshua and Kalev.
Okay, so Kalev and Yoshu. So
No, Otniel
Kalev
was
and
born in the desert.
but Atniel ben Knaz was 38. So only the people between 40 and 60 died. Excuse me. The people between 20 and 60 died.
That's a lot of people.
Right?
Most of them died.
Those were the people that were counted in the tzava. So if you were younger than 20 or older than 60, you did not die. So Atniel must have been younger than 20, right? So he maybe the mother got remarried to a different father.
That's the
And then it says in Masechta Tmura, "B'masnisa tana elef u'shva me'ot kalim v'chamurim u'gzeira shavos v'digdukte sofrim nishtaku b'mei ebel shel Moshe." 1,700 kal v'chomers were forgotten. On Ravavo afal pichen echziren Osniel ben Knaz mitoch pilpulo. Osniel ben Knaz, through thinking and drushes, returned it all. Shenamar vayilkeda Osniel ben Knaz achi kalev hakaton mimenu. He's the younger brother. Tana hu Atniel hu Yavitz. He's called Yavitz. Ushmat shmo amiti Yehuda achi Shimon. V'nikra Atniel mishum sha'anao el. Hashem answered him. V'hu nikra Yavitz mishum sheyatz v'ribeitz Torah b'Yisrael. All of these Gemaras is in Tmura Tesvav. And so the Musar Nevi'im says, "My Kiryat Sefer halachot." When the Tanakh writes, it's got to have a pshat as well. He had the ability sort of to conquer this city of the book. You need Torah to be able to conquer a city in Eretz Yisrael. The pasuk, the parsha that we learned this Shabbos in Parshas Chukas, Al Ken Amar b'Sefer Melchamos Hashem. Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Atem asaktem b'Sefer v'ani nilcham al yadchem. V'chein hayam Hashem yunatnil ben Kras b'Melchama. Mishum shaya asuk b'Sefer. He spent his time learning, and Hashem fought for him. Then there's a pasuk in Koheles that the Medrash in Breshis Rabbah connects to this pasuk of Ayil Kedat Niel ben Knaz. It says, "V'zarach Hashemesh uva Hashemesh." The sun will rise, the sun will set. It's like, it reminds me of in England, the king is dead, long live the king, correct? There is the moment the king dies, so there's a new king. The king is dead, long live the king. I understand. You have to tell me that the sun rises and the sun sets. Hashem prepares the succession. That's this foreshadowing I've been discussing, just like literary foreshadowing. Here, even before Yoshua leaves the scene, we're already introduced to the successor. It was the same in the Torah. How many times were we given a glimpse of Yoshua? Yoshua ben Nun nar mishareis ba'oel. And then he's told eventually Moshe puts his hands on Moshe in Parshas Pinchas. Next week we're going to see Moshe is told to give over his koiches from Moshe to Yoshua. So there's foreshadowing even in the Torah. Now, I'm going to ask the people who are listening to tonight's shiur. Who else made a challenge and said, "Oh, whoever does something, I will give." Someone else so here, Yoshua says, "I'm going to, if whoever conquers Kiryat Sefer, I will give my daughter to that." Can anybody remember something similar? So Susie says Yiftach.
Yiftach,
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
That's correct. But remember what
But she was
Yiftach
told.
said.
Terrible.
What Yiftach said is, anything that comes out of my house, I will offer up as a korban. If Hashem gives me victory in my battle. And who came out of the house?
His
daughter.
His daughter. Okay. Now we'll see when we get there in Mirz Hashem and Sefer Shoftim, what happened. What happened to that daughter? It's not so clear. But can somebody else remember where somebody else offered his daughter as a prize?
I'm trying to think. Who?
Before
Well-
this case.
In the Tanakh?
Huh?
You're talking about before this case.
No, after this case.
I see. After this case.
Okay.
Oh, you're
When
saying,
right after Shaul HaMelech,
Oh, what's her name? His daughter.
Yeah, Shoal.
when Goliath, you remember when
Yeah.
Goliath, when Goliath is challenging people from Klal Yisrael to do battle with him, so
Michal.
Shaul HaMelech promises his daughter Michal to
Michal.
whoever is able to conquer Goliath. So Vayomer Kalev asher yakes Kiryas Sefer ve'el kedav v'natati lo et achsa biti lisha. Says the Medrash Rabbah in Vayikra. Kalev sha'al shelo kahogim. What Kalev asked is not correct. Who knows who's gonna what low life is gonna end up conquering, and he's gonna give his daughter Achsa to that? What kind of?
You just said though that
Right.
whoever that the person in order to win has to be a person of Torah.
Outstanding, Ellen, outstanding. So Kalev understood that. So he knew it wasn't going to be an Osverf. It's exactly correct.
Ernie,
But still, it's
royalty-
a very risky proposition. Sight unseen, you're going to give your daughter away to somebody that you haven't met?
No.
Throughout history, royalty has always used their daughters to marry and
Like
gain
women are
power by
chattel, you know
granting
that.
appliances,
That's right.
right?
Susie, you must be talking about from experience. over
Yeah.
there.
Women are prizes.
Prizes, chattel, right? Chattel.
Assets.
So what does the Medrash say?
By the way, Susie, in Africa, you didn't get to South Africa, but in Africa, it was the opposite way around. You had to pay to get the woman. It was the opposite way around. You had to pay to get the woman, not that the woman paid to get for the man.
I like that better, right?
But we can always let you live in Africa. No problem.
It's called La Bola.
La bola.
La bola.
Okay?
Hope I get to Africa.
So it says, so Kalev shal shelo kahogim. However, Heshiva Kodesh Baruch Hu Elu lekta knani, because Elu lekta knani or mamzer or eved hayita noten lo bitcha. If a knani or a mamzer or an eved, were you going to give your daughter to such a person? Ma'asa Kodesh Baruch Hu zimin los es achiv, his brother, v'lakta shenemra vayikadat niyal ben knas. Okay, we will continue. Vayilkedat niyal ben knas achi kalei vayiten lo dachsa bito lisha. Vayibevoah. So Achsa arrives. Vatisiteu lishol me'et avia sadeh. You know what? Achsa is a really smart woman. She says, you know, you found me a koilenik, you know, a big Talmud Chacham. But let's, what do they say? Tachlis ofen tish. What about a good field?
Tochas ofen tish.
Okay, I said tachlis ofen tish because we're on video here. So it says vatitznach me ala chamor. Now,
I found that very strange.
Now, what word is vatitznach? Does anybody? The tzam chanim.
Here they said slid off.
The what?
Tznius.
They said slid off.
Okay, but remember the tzam chanim? Tzam chanim, paratroopers.
Okay.
They took this word vatitznach as a word that means to jump out of a plane and use a parachute to land. Right. So she landed. She landed. Vatitznach me ala chamor. Vayomer lo Kalev malach. Right, she came off the chamor in a tzniistic way. Rashi says, "Hitza atzma lipol raglav." So to make sure that her legs didn't show, she landed in a tzniistic way. Vatomer tznali bracha ki eretz hanegev netanani. You gave me a southern. It's desert. V'natati li gulot mayim. Vayitain la et gulot iliot ve'et gulot taktiot. He gave her water sources. Now, I believe that this is also practical. She found a good piece of land that was well irrigated, so she'd have parnasa for she and her husband and her family. However, of course, the Gemara in Tzmura goes to town. Vatitznach melach hamor says, Omer Rav Yitzchak, Omer lo ma chamor zeh Kivan Shalom Michael Bevusumiyad Soek. This donkey, if you bring him home and you bring him to the feed trough, he doesn't have any food in the trough, he screams. Kach Isha, a woman. Kivan She'en La Tvua B'toch Beisa Miyad Soekes. If she sees that she's not going to have parnasa, she's also going to cry out. Vatomer Tnali Bracha, give me a bracha, Ki Eretz HaNegev Netanani, Bayit Shemenunav Mikol Tova, V'natata Lo Gulot Mayim, Adam She'en Bo El Torah Bilvad. You gave me just a kolonik, because Mayim is always compared to Torah. So Vayitel La Kalev Et Gulot Ilyot Et Gulot Tachtiot Omerla, Mi Shadar Elyonim V'Tachtonim Yivakesh Mimenu Mizonos. That means the upper waters, the lower waters. Now we're talking mystical. We're talking about the one who runs the upper waters, the lower waters. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should grant you mizonos. Ki shofte Yisrael lo yotzu mitoch shteres ha'ashirim, ki mitoch aniyim. We're going to see that a lot of the shoftim that became shoftim they came from poor families, not wealthy families. Shariat Niel Beknaz lo haya lo me'uma. In fact, Otniel Beknaz was very poor. Ad she'ishto hayta chosheshet shema lo tiela mimali parnes. Aval achar kach haya shela levad shu haya mefarnes his basic. Ki im hu haya parnes shel kol Yisrael. V'zeh ma shema Chazal. From Aniyim will come out Torah. Now, I do want to read something that caught my attention regarding this.
Ernie, is it,
Yes.
Was there any gnai to her that she approached her father? Because here in, the Reuben edition, it says that according to Radak, that she urged her new husband to ask Kalev for a source of water to assure their livelihood. When he refused, she took the initiative.
That's correct. That's how Chazal understand it. It says like this. It says, Kalev's forceful daughter. How are we to understand her remarkable conduct? In effect, her behavior recalls her own father's Kalev's steadfast conviction, even as it stands in critical contrast to her husband's successes on the battlefield. Confronted with the prospect of dry lands that appear barren and inhospitable, Achsa does not lose her faith and throws up her hands in dejection. Rather, she is determined to make the best of her difficult situation, to improve upon it and to transform it into triumph. And the Chazal understood that her forceful alighting from the donkey was calculated to attract her father's attention and represented a show of, asking him. The donkey is the beast of choice for the nomadic shepherd who covers short distances. The great caravan routes that crisscross the region were typically covered by camel, an animal built for transporting heavy loads over long distances. But the nomadic shepherd, who did not range quite so far, covered territory on foot or by donkey. And therefore, perhaps Achsa's forceful dismounting is meant to indicate to her startled father that she is determined to leave nomadic existence behind in order to embrace the overwhelming task of homesteading, farming, and putting down roots even in difficult territory. So what with the national project of settling the land looming large on the horizon, her inspired conduct serves as an important example for her people. How will they confront the disappointment, the disillusionment bound to arise when this wilderness myth of a land flowing with milk and honey is shattered by the sobering reality of desolated and uncultivated expanses? Will the people of Israel lose heart because of the magnitude of the task? Or will they take up their mission enthusiastically? While it is Otniel who secures a military victory over the enemy army, it is Achsa who wins the day. She has a determined attitude. She serves as a profound paradigm to her people. If they can internalize her tenacity, then they will achieve success in the new land in spite of the great challenges. I thought it's a strong statement of what Achsa did here.
Ernie, she's also the one who insisted on getting sources of water. So this is parallel to modern day pre-state of Israel, where the number one priority was to build that water carrier.
Absolutely.
The same thing, same idea.
And draining the swamps of the Hula Valley, also water, right? Because it was mosquitoes, malaria. Now, I think it's important also to see in Othniel, he also steps in to fill this breach. He's like Yoshua, a Torah leader, but he combines it with military. So it goes from Moshe to Yoshua to Othniel is a fitting successor to Moshe and Yoshua. He's able to do it in a way that Yoshua was not able to do it. Yoshua was not a big darshan. It's only Othniel that brings the Kavachoimers back and brings all of that back. Let's continue the pairing. And then we have I have a few more nice midrashim to discuss. So now we're going to be told about the division. Zod nachla matev ne'udal mishpachotav. Vayu he'arim miktzeh matev ne'udah el gvul edom banegba kavatzel eder yagur kina dimona ad adam. So again, I don't know, because I noticed on the map they didn't put current state Dimona, where, of course, where the nuclear reactor is, but that is, we know it's in the Negev. Keresh Chatzor Yitnan, Ziv Telem Baalot, Chatzor Chadeta Kiryot, Chetzron Hi Chatzor. Abam Ushma Molada, Chatzar Gadav Cheshmon Uveit Palet, Chatzar Shual Beersheva Uvizyotel. So here's Beersheva. Baala v'iyim va'etzem, ve'el tolad u'ksil v'charma, v'tziglag u'madmana v'sansana, u'levaot v'shilchim v'ayin v'rimon, kol arim esrim v'tesha v'chatzrehen. So it gives us a number, 29 cities. So listen to this. In this, we are now going, the territorial lands of Yehuda include a representative selection of the major climatic zones of Canaan, arranged as a series of narrow strips from west to east. These were the flat and fertile coastal plain, the gentle sloping foothills, the rocky central highlands, right, as we drive up to Yerushalayim, and of course the foreboding and barren wilderness overlooking the Yam HaMelech. Perhaps this territory of Judah is seen as a microcosm of the land of Canaan, much as the tribe of Judah was to become the pivotal tribe in Israel. And later in the biblical period, during the ascendancy of Assyria in the 8th century BCE, it's the only remaining tribe of importance. Eventually, by the period of the Persian Empire that rose to prominence in the 6th century BCE, the people of Israel would be identified solely by their association with this one tribe. We are known as Yehudim, Jews, after Shevet Yehuda. And that's why it could be, we're going through such detail because we're not going to go through this kind of detail in the other Shvatim, but we are here because, in a sense, Shevet Yehuda is like a microcosm of the whole people. Now, we just were told 29 cities. So we're now going to go through Psukim 20 to 63. The Judean towns and cities are grouped according to the topographical climatic key that I just described. It's not just, keep in mind what we just said. These cities are grouped based on the climate that they're in. We just mentioned 29 Negev towns. And then we're going to mention the foothills, which are 39 towns. Then the mountain settlements are 38. And then the very sparsely populated Judean desert is 6. Altogether, we're going to count 112 cities. That excludes the coastal towns of Ekron, Ashdod, and Aza. Now, it's interesting that if we count the number of cities in all the remaining 7 tribes that are going to receive their territorial borders at Shiloh, in Yoshua chapter 18 and 19, we're going to describe how through the Urim V'Tumim, the other Shvatim get their territory. And it's going to be Benjamin 26, Shimon 17, Zvulun 12, Yisachar 16, Asher 22, Naphtali 19. How much does it add up to? Exactly the number 112. The same cities in Judea, in the tribes of Judah, which we're going to count up 112 cities. If we count the number of cities given to all the other Shvatim, it's exactly the same. What's the implication? That the tribe of Judah, featured prominently as the first and most powerful in Israel, would one day remain alone as the surviving core. So we just talked about the 29 cities of the Negev. Then we have the Shvela. That's the coastal plain. Where are you, 33? Yeah. Bashvela Eshtaol v'tzara v'ashna v'zanoch v'ein ganim tapuach v'ha'enam. Now, I'm just going to give everyone a hint. Bein Eshtaol u'bein tzara. We're going to mention that later on somewhere. Can anybody jump in and say where? It's going to be Shimshon, because the tribe of Dan is going to, as you saw in the original map, is going to be way in the north. But at some point, some members of the tribe of Dan request, and they move into the environs of Shevet Yehuda. And this city, Eshtaol v'tzara, it's got Manoach, the Haftorah that we read, that Manoach and his wife are given a vision, a Malach comes, and they say that the child should be a Nazir from the Beten. That Haftorah ends, Bein Eshtaol u'bein tzara. So you see that it's here in one of the cities of Yehuda. V'zanoch ve'en ganim tapuach v'einam. Yarmut v'adulam, that's this area, the Adulamit. We had a lunch, Yom Ha'atzmaut there. A lot of these places, they know where they are. Socho v'azekah, v'sharayim v'aditayim v'agderah v'derotayim arim arba asher v'chatzreim. Tznan v'chadasha u'migdal Gad, Dilana mitzvah v'yakte'el achish u'vatzkat ve'eglon, v'chabon v'lakmas v'kitlish u'gderot be'dagon v'nama u'makedah, arim sheish esrei v'chatzreim. And as we were given an introduction, these cities are in the different strips of climatic regions. Livna va'eter va'ashan v'yiftach v'ashnav v'netziv u'kila v'achziv u'merasha arim teisha v'chatzreihen. Ekron uvnotel v'chatzrei, that's near the Plishtim, near the ocean. Me'ekron v'yama kol asher al yad Ashdod v'chatzreihen. Ashdod b'notel v'chatzreiha. Aza, Gaza b'notel v'chatzreiha ad nachal Mitzrayim. Wadi Arish v'yam hagadol u'gvul, to the Mediterranean. Uvahar, Shamir v'yatir v'socho, Dana Kiryat Sana Hidvir, which is near Hebron, Ana v'shtoma v'anin, Goshen Cholan Gilo Arim Achad Esrei v'chatzreihem. Arab Duma Eshan Yanum Beit Tapuach v'Afeka, Chamutav Kiryat Arba Yichevron v'Tzior Arim Teshav v'chatzreihem. Ma'on Carmel V'Aziv v'Yotah, v'Yisrael v'Yokdam v'Zanoch, HaKain Giva b'Timna Arim Eser v'chatzreihem. Chalchu Beit Tzur Gdor Marat Beit Anot v'Eltkon Arim Sheish v'chatzreihem, that's 6. Kiryat Bali, Kiryat Yarim v'Arba, Arim Shtayim v'chatzreihem. Bamidbar Beit HaRava Midin U'Schacha v'Nivshan Bir HaMelech v'En Gedi. We know where En Gedi is, Yam HaMelech, Arim Sheish v'chatzreihem. Okay. Now, ve'et HaYivusi, Yoshvei Yerushalayim, Lo Yachlu Bnei Yehuda Lo Risham. They could not conquer the Yevusim in Yerushalayim. Who is that going to be left to, ladies and gentlemen?
David HaMelech.
David HaMelech. Vayeshev HaYevusi et Bnei Yehuda b'Yerushalayim ad hayom hazeh. Ad hayom hazeh means whoever's writing the Sefer Yoshua. Shaninu, says Rashi, Shaninu b'Sifri. Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha Omer. Yecholim hayu. They were able to do it. El shahayu sha'im. Machmat hashvua shnishba Avraham l'Avimelech. Avraham and Avimelech, we read about those brisim on Rosh Hashanah, first day of Rosh Hashanah, V'achrusu bris between Avimelech and Avraham. And the Yevusim are children of Avimelech. The Yevusi zelo al shema umaya. El migdal David shaya b'Yushalayim shmo Yevus. Uvnei oto machoz miplishtim hayu. Ukeshakavshu bnei Yehuda Yushalayim lo arishu bnei oto machoz. And we're going to see this more also later on in Sefer Shoftim and in Sefer Shmuel. So part of the reason is because until a certain time, ad dor revi'i or whatever, we'll do the calculation later on when that appears. The children of Avram could not capture from, because of the bris that Avram, a peaceful bris that Avram made with Avimelech. Says, he doesn't make a comment. I wanted to see this. Second. Just want to go back a little bit in Breshis Rabbah. Dalid shetavu shelo kahogim. 4 people sort of set up challenges that were not correct. Legimel nitan kahogim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, though, ended up doing okay. One of them is Kale. Asher yaket kiryat sefer vayil kedav natati lo dachsa bitol isha. He could have been an Eved and a Mamzer. Rav Yonasan, and this is a Masechta Tainis, Daf Dalet. Rav Yonasan, Gimel Shalu Shaloi Kahoikim. Because of Rashi, Vagada Kachoshev Kalev Vadayu, Kalev is concluded there. I thought that Medrash would, I wanted to go through all of the people, but it doesn't mention it. It doesn't bring it there. Maybe I saw it somewhere else. Okay. Maybe here. Okay, so we mentioned, right. So first of all, I'm looking at the Me'am Loez. Haya achiv shel Kalev me'iman. They had the same mother, but different fathers. He had a stepfather. Then we talked about this concept of halachas that were forgotten in the times of Moshe Rabbeinu. I just want to read what the Me'am Loez says here. Yesh b'toratenu akdosha arba minei biurim. Pshat, which is you read the story. Remez is a hint. Drush is a drasha. Sod is secret. The kulam emet. We read, it has many, they're all true. So it says, B'me'evlo shel Moshe nishtaku Yisrael 500 halachot. And nitoru 700 tzveikot, 700 doubts. Ubo Yisrael ifnei Yoshua sheyagid lehem. So they went, the Klal Yisrael came to Yoshua to be taught. Gam Yoshua shakcham. Ubikshu Yisrael lahorgo. Klal Yisrael wanted to kill Yoshua. Amru, ketzad yitachen hadavar sheshachachta. Vari efshesh nisrach lach. We need these halachos. Bikesh Yoshua rachmi ufnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, am LaKadosh Baruch Hu, legalot lecha iefshar. I can't tell you these halachos. Why? Lo b'shamayim. This is torture b'peh. It has to be worked on by human beings. He's elalech v'toridam b'milchamot. Go fight with them. And we had this drasha before. Yoshua took their mind off of it with battles. What are the halachot? Kal v'chomer, gzer shava, ad Shabbat niel beknaz, and he returned it to Pilpula. Now, why did they have this evil happen to them that they forgot halachos? Biglal sheger shasei Yoshua nishefta Moshe Rabbeinu. Before Moshe Rabbeinu died, Moshe asked Yoshua, Omerlo, Sha'al mimeni kol sfeikos sheyesh biyadcha. Moshe asked Yoshua, ask me any doubts or questions you have. Omerlo Yoshua, Shema amarta davar v'lo shamati. Everything you said, I've heard. Hariksuv umisharto Yoshua bin Nun nar lo yamish mitocha oel. Uviglal shemet shel gaiva shel Yoshua nishtachu alachot. Shakadosh Baruch Hu medagdek im tzadikim kechut asara. Hashem judges tzadikim by a split hair. We wouldn't even see it as a sin if we said something like that. But on the level of Yoshua, it was considered gaiva. Ad sheba Atniel v'echzir alachot shnishtachu bepulpulo. Until Atniel came back and returned everything. Because remember, Torah Shabbal Peh is mamish. For example, all of us daven before Baruch Shamar. We say Yud Gimel Midos Torah Shanidreshes by him according to Rabbi Shmuel. Kal v'chomer, Gzer Shava, Binyanav. These are all constructs, halacha constructs like equations, like we do in chemistry and physics. But these are methodologies on how Rabbanim in every generation are supposed to look at the Torah and darshan. And that's what Atniel ben Knaz was able to do using the Yud Gimel Midas Torah Nidreshes B'Hem. And he was able to return those Kal v'chomers. Ruach HaKodesh Yashar Sola. Without any shinu. Now we should know, says the Mam Loez, Atniel ben Knaz haya hashlishi b'seder Kabbalas HaTorah. Shaya Moshe Rabbeinu HaRishon, v'Yoshua HaSheni, v'Atniel ben Knaz HaShlishi. Like it says in Pirkei Avos, Moshe kibel Torah Misinai, u'Masra liYoshua, v'Yoshua l'Zkenim, v'Rosh HaZkenim haya Atniel ben Knaz. And he was the Shofet Yisrael Arboim Shana. So you see, very important, this whole transmission of Torah Shabbal Peh begins at this point with Atniel ben Knaz. And Otniel ben Knaz haya osek b'Torah yomam v'layla liyasheva mikraot v'dorsham, and based on that zachal ruach hakodesh. But Yoshua haya asuk b'Yisrael lavar yarden lasos milchamos lo yapnai lekach kemo Otniel shlo haya alav olat tzibur. He was mamish a koilelnik. He sat in yeshiva and just studied. Yoshua had to run the government, run the generals, had to run the army. Yoshua could have done it as well. He didn't have the time. So listen to another pshat, which is very good. Yoshua haya navi. Shemiyad achrei shetamu shloshim yimei avelos al Moshe sharsol of nevuah. Kemo shnema b'rosh hasefer vayi achrei mot Moshe v'd Hashem vayomer Hashem liYoshua. So now Yoshua is in the role of what? A navi. The kivan Yoshua haya navi. Hari afilum haya machzar dvorim b'pulpulo lo haya makabli b'menu. We don't accept Torah from the Nevi'im. What do Chazal say? Chacham adif mi navi. We need a chacham, not a navi. You can't accept Torah from a navi because lo b'shamayim. It's got to be worked on on the land. Shachacham yachol lechadesh davar lecha b'pupulo lo chen navi. He will say it. Shi'armu mikoch nevu also chitsha aval Atniel lo haya navi. He could return all of these halachos b'pilpul.
Are you saying that Otniel had a greater status than Shmuel or Yeshayahu or the other Nevi'im Rishonim? Because
Who did?
Otniel had a greater status as a Chacham than some than Shmuel and the other Nevi'im Rishonim?
No. Otniel was not a Navi.
No, but he was a chacham.
Saying that a chacham's higher than a
In
navi.
Chacham Adif Minavi, when it comes to Torah, that's what the point that Imam Moses wants to say. The different roles. The Navi gives us Musar. The Navi, there are only 48 Nevi'im and Zion Nevi'ot whose message go for generations. There were millions of Nevi'im, but the only Nevi'im that are recorded for us are 48 males and 7 Nevi'ot. They give us Musar. They give us certain teachings that have to be given through a Navi. But when it comes to Torah, Kal V'chomer, Gzereshava, Binyanav, Chacham Adif Minavi. He's in a different category. So and Otniel was not a Navi, says the Me'am Noach.
No, he's closer to the source, Neil. He's directly closer to the link from Moshe to Yoshua.
Of Torah.
Of Torah. So everyone's after.
Now you're going to see the Rambam, if you look in the beginning of the Yad HaChazaka, the Rambam actually gives you the full Masorah until Rabbi Yehuda Nossi. Included in there is Yeshayahu HaNavi. So some Nevi'im were Zocheh to be part of the Masorah.
I see.
So we'll have to explain that. But Ein Hanami, what Sidney is saying, Otniel is the third in the Masorah. Now, we know that until the time of Hillel and Shammai, there was no machlokes. So the Torah and the Torah Sheba'al Peh was handed down without machlokes until a few hundred years before the Bayis Sheni was destroyed. So the corpus is intact according to each we believe each Kabbalah was intact. There wasn't any loss. Now it's 9 o'clock. I do have something to say about the Savi Melech business, but it's just mainly the promise of Avram Tavi Melech. That's why at this point Yehuda can't conquer it. We will go back into this later on and say for Shoftim, say for Shmuel, Mirz Hashem. We get there because it's really the Plishtim that are the descendants of Avimelech, and the Plishtim are the ones who went and lived in Yerushalayim. So the Palestinians, if we call the Plishtim Palestinians, they were mamish in Yerushalayim. The Yevusi, it's just a tower that were called Yevusi. That's what the Rashi speaks out of.